may think you're ingesting a Percocet 30, when in reality you may be ingesting a clandestinely made tablet that contains fentanyl.
The Elizabethtown Police Department is sounding the alarm on a public health crisis involving overdoses and toxic pills. And thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Connie Leonard. Officials say there are Percocet tablets laced with fentanyl circling around the community and confirm that there's been at least one death. Jose Alonso shows us the difference between a real prescription and a modified pill.
The Elizabethtown Police Department needs the public's help in ensuring what they believe are fentanyl-laced pills are taken off the street and are prevented from harming anyone else.
Clandestinely fabricated Percocet 30 tablet. This is a legitimate Percocet 30 tablet.
They don't look much different, but E-Town PD says the laced pills don't have as sharp cuts as a regular pill. After recording multiple overdoses and a death connected to this drug, Public Affairs Officer Chris Denham says they need to warn families this holiday season.
Overdoses are often fatal, and just imagine the void that it would create in the family members' lives should something happen to them. Everyone is impacted by drug abuse. I personally lost a good friend in March of 2016 from a drug overdose. Great guy. Looking at him, he was a good-looking guy, fit. You would have never suspected that he was struggling.
Investigators say a 17-year-old boy suffered from a fatal overdose Wednesday morning. They've arrested a minor along with 2 adults, all on drug charges. Denham says if you have these pills and surrender them to law enforcement, then you won't be arrested.
If we catch you and we find them on your person days later, you don't have that same exemption. So is it rare? Maybe. But it's necessary. Lives are far more important than an arrest.
E-Town PD has also warned public schools and had them talk to students about the dangers of these pills.
If you're a student at a school, you will not face any type of administrative discipline. We want to get these off of the streets so they do not cause any additional overdoses.
Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Police also encourage those who may know of the whereabouts of these pills to call their tip line. They say it's not snitching when you could be saving someone else's life and you could receive a cash reward. That number is on your screen now, 1-800-597-8123. Well, nicotine vapes or e-cigarettes in Kentucky will need FDA authorization in order to be sold next year. But the list of authorized products is short. And businesses say it stings. Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Emma Gefter hear from a legislator who wants to push the law further next year and a local business owner banking on customers moving across the river.
The vape in Derby Sig owner Troy LeBlanc's hands and the no nicotine vape juice inside will be banned for sale starting next year in Kentucky. On January 1st, 2025, only FDA authorized nicotine vape products can be legally sold in the state.
Jobs are going to be lost. We're going to close down several stores, and a lot of our customers are either going to have to go way up in nicotine, or they're going to have to go to smoking, or they're going to have to buy things illegally online.
Or across the river in Indiana. In fact, LeBlanc is betting on it, opening a Jeffersonville store in January when the restrictions take hold. Altria, a tobacco company, spent around $70,000 lobbying in Frankfurt ahead of House Bill 11's passage in the 2024 legislative session.
That's the parent company of Enjoy, one of only 3 manufacturers on the FDA's already approved list.
The law also adds fines for any business caught selling vapes to anyone under 21. On a 4th strike, the business would lose the ability to sell vape products for a year. State Senator Jimmy Higdon, representing Nelson County, voted against the bill, but only because he thought it didn't go far enough to stop underage vaping.
I wanted more enforcement, or more tools and more teeth in the bill to allow law enforcement and ABC to deal with the bad actors.
In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS 11, on your side.
And Ian actually joining us now here. As the state senator just said, enforcement is going to be a little difficult, it seems like, with this, because they already have trouble enforcing alcohol beverage controls sometimes, depending on where it is. So this seems like it could be a problem.
That's why Senator Higdon wants to add the teeth, he was calling it. He wants to add a licensing program similar to the ones that bars or liquor stores have to go through, so that businesses would pay those license fees, which would pay for ABC to do sort of regular inspections. Now that's something that a lot of business owners are going to be skeptical about already, because they're going to be hurting from this. One of the points the business owner made to me today was that on the FDA's approved list, you actually have to have nicotine in some of those juices, whereas right now, like he said, he puts 0 nicotine in his.
It's interesting too that he's already got a place in Indiana.
That's right. He's looking ahead to the future.
All right. Thank you so much, Ian. Appreciate that story.
Zach was way more than an officer. He was a devoted son, husband, father, and public servant.
LMPD Major Brian Edlin this morning speaking to family and colleagues of fallen officer Zach Cottingem. This morning's rain kept them away from Cave Hill Cemetery, so everyone gathered at LMPD's 1st Division on 29th Street to honor his memory. The memorial service marked 3 years since he was killed in the line of duty. Chief Paul Humphrey grew emotional while speaking at the service and spent a moment personally addressing Officer Dale Cottingem, Zach's dad.
Many of us have known Dale for a long time, and please don't think that I'm not talking to the entire family, but many of us have known Dale for a long time. I just want to say thank you for letting me personally, and many of us, be here for you and for you, Jamie, on that night 3 years ago.
In 2021, Officer Cottingem was investigating an abandoned car on the side of I-64 near Melwood Avenue when a driver hit him. He was just 29 years old. An Indiana man convicted of killing 4 people has been put to death. It was the state's first execution in 15 years, according to the state's Department of Corrections. Joseph Cochran of Fort Wayne was pronounced dead just after 12:30 this morning. State officials say a powerful sedative was used, but provided few details on the process. No media witnesses were permitted under state law, making Indiana and Wyoming the only states where media cannot witness executions. Cochran spent 25 years on death row. He was convicted of killing 4 people in 1997, including his brother, his sister's fiance, and 2 of their friends. Outgoing Governor Eric Holcomb announced last summer that Indiana would resume state executions. Last week, the Indiana Supreme Court denied a stay of execution, allowing his death sentence to stand. Well, you still have time to meet with Givaudan representatives face-to-face if impacted by last month's plant explosion in Clifton. There will also be insurance reps available to help any of the residents with any claims that you may have. It is at the United Crescent Hill Ministries on State Street from 4 until 6 tonight. This is the last scheduled meeting the company will have with those affected. All right, well, the weather is a little bit colder today, but it's about to get really cold, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of back to mid to late December standards here with 40s out there, but certainly feels chillier after days in the 50s to near 60 degrees and some colder weather, as you mentioned, Connie, on the way, especially as we head into the weekend. Might get some flurries on Friday, too. Just a little preview there for you, but mid 40s out there now, northwest wind around 10 to 15. It's going to be a bit chilly out there this evening, so grab those warm jackets. Right now, we're looking at mid 40s across the metro, and as we expand out our view, a little colder to the north. We've got 39 in Seymour. Off to the south, Munfordville checking in at 45 and Hodgenville 44 degrees. All the wet weather we had earlier today now making its way off to the east over the Appalachians. And so we have a drier weather pattern, so that's good. But again, it's going to be a bit chillier as well. That's the trade-off this time of the year. Typically, when it's warmer, it's wetter. When it's colder, it's drier. Down to around freezing for tonight. That's a typical low temperature for this time of the year. Some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, and temperatures only topping out in the lower 40s, which is still not far from normal for this time of the year. So cold and dry tonight, low 32 degrees, typical cold, 39 at noon tomorrow, partly sunny overall for our Thursday, with high temperatures topping out at 43 degrees. And again, our normal high is 46, so not too far off that. Now, it does get a little bit colder into the weekend. We're tracking just a little bit of a snow chance on the way coming up in our weather impact team forecast.
Thank you much, Ben. In just over 24 hours, the Louisville volleyball team will compete in the Final Four while also hosting the Final Four down at the KFC Yum Center. The action kicks off at 6:30 tomorrow night with Louisville versus the overall #1 seed, Pittsburgh. Then it's Penn State against Nebraska in the other semifinals matchup. We spoke with some volleyball fans who have come from far and wide to see these elite teams battle it out.
This is exciting. This is the first time I've ever been to a national championship tournament type deal. So she comes often, almost every year. And she was very excited to bring me along, which I'm excited. Good volleyball.
And the winners of the 2 semifinals will meet in the national championship game Sunday. That starts at 3 p.m. at the Yum Center. Well, there's a new mural in downtown Louisville, part of a beautification project in partnership with J.P. Morgan Chase. The new art is on the west-facing side of the Hyatt Hotel, right by the Louisville Tourism Center. Louisville leaders want these city spots to be a public space for people to rediscover the act of hanging out. They are also adding tables and flora for people to enjoy lunch or coffee.